she doesn't have an Amazon account. And she's like, oh, okay. And it really sounded like she didn't believe me. She was very polite and very, very nice, but I got the impression from the conversation that she thought that Maggie had an Amazon account that I did not know about, that she was looking at something that she could not tell me about, and that Maggie has an Amazon account. At the beginning of the year, I said that there was a question in Maggie's classes about what was hard for her at school, and she used the communication board that we were using at the time. She's not a huge fan of, but she used it to say technology. She actually verbally out loud said she could point into a computer, and she said technology computers are hard for her. And I laughed because she's so good with technology. Maggie, the way her mind works, when she gets her hands on any piece of electronics, she just seems to have a really innate understanding of how they work. She's just so good at using them. She had my mom's phone the other day, and she's never seen the password or anything, but all of a sudden the phone was unlocked. She will have my phone, and all of a sudden my phone is unlocked, which is less surprising. It's a 6-digit passcode. I'm not really surprised that she has figured it out by watching me, though. When she was still in therapy, every day, they would always tilt the iPad that they used to collect data away from her. She would still eventually figure out what the password is because she would watch the movements of their hand and she would be able to figure out what the password is, and she would start unlocking it, and so they would have to change it. She pretty quickly figured out the password to unlock her AAC device because it was supposed to be locked down. We didn't want her to have just a iPad that was a regular iPad. We wanted her to think of that AAC device as just a dedicated talker that she used as communication. She has a Kindle that she can use to play games and do that stuff. We want the talker to be a talker that she thinks of as her voice that she communicates with. Because in the past, I actually have put like communication things on an iPad that she had in the past that she broke when she was younger, and she never was interested in it. I tried to get her to use it. I tried to show her how she could use it to make words, and she would just immediately close the thing down and scroll away and start playing Tokaboka. Tokaboka was actually one of the first apps that I started realizing how good she was with electronics, because she had all of these different Tokaboka apps that I got for her, and she would go in there, and Tokaboka to me was just kind of a strange game. I couldn't really figure out the point of it. But she would have all the characters out on the screen. She would do their hair. She would change all their hair to pink. Everyone would have pink hair, and she'd be moving them all around and having them do different things. And this was years ago. But it was just really interesting watching how she interacted with this whole entire world that she had built inside Tokaboka. Anyhow, now she doesn't play it very often, but when she does, she makes these intricate dance routines for her dancers, and she has smoke going out, but she doesn't play that very often anymore. So anyways, her Kindle, the charging port on it broke, and we're having a really hard time replacing it. So I guess this is kind of part of the story. We've been trying to work with Amazon to replace it, and it's supposed to be really easy because it's under warranty, and it's a kid's Kindle, and they come with a big, long, inclusive warranty. Anything happens, it's supposed to be super easy to replace. So I talked to them first, and when I got on the phone, they were like, sorry, we can't help you, it's not linked to your account. And I said, yes, it is. I can see it on my account. I'm literally looking at it right now. And so we tried to see if it was linked to my mom's account. I'm talking to my mom at the same time. They can see my mom bought it, but it's not linked to her account. And Paul's there with me, and I give him his information. It's not linked to his account. And they said, well, just see, I bet your daughter changed it to her email. It's always totally locked in the not kid zone, but like Amazon, whatever, kid free time. I've never seen her get out of that. I guess that doesn't mean it can't happen because she's the master of passcodes. And my passcode for that is pretty simple, but I've never seen her do it. And she's not usually sneaky in front of me about doing that sort of thing. They're like, what's her name? And I say Maggie or Margaret. And she's like, okay, yeah, which sounds like that's what she thought it was going to be. She goes, could you please ask your daughter what her email is and what her information is? And I was like, she doesn't have an email. She's 10. She's not super verbal. She's autistic. This is her Kindle that she plays with, but I mean, it's totally locked down. She doesn't have an Amazon account. She's like, oh, okay. And it really sounded like she didn't believe me. she was very polite and very, very nice, but I got the impression from the conversation that she thought that Maggie had an Amazon account that I did not know about, that she was looking at something that she could not tell me about, and that Maggie has an Amazon account. And you know what? After the week that has happened here, I am no longer so confident that she doesn't. Because let's go on to the next thing. So we still have not gotten this thing because they need to know the account that it's linked to. I have to have that information, and I don't. Paul called and went through the whole thing again, and they were like, well, maybe it's your mom's. Maybe her mom has a different account. Her mom must have more than one account. I was like, my mom has had the same email since like emails were invented. I mean, we got the same email, and I used to use it when I was like 12 in 1994, or whenever emails started. I think it was when I was in like 7th grade. I don't know. Before all of this, I would have felt like this was impossible, and that there was no way she had an email account, which I shouldn't be totally surprised because I've talked about it before, but when she had an iPad, I had it totally, I thought, locked down and just had the Tokaboka apps and games on it. I thought that I had that iPad totally locked down, and somehow she managed to get past all the precautions I'd put in place and get to my phone through her iPad, even though I'd removed Messenger and everything on it. She got into my messages and she found her OT's number, which when we really began to suspect that she could read, she started to send her OT, who she hadn't seen in over a year, she started to send her messages. So that's, when I say Maggie's like good with technology, that's what I mean. And she always found her OT, who wasn't like even at the top of my contacts. She always went and found her and specifically messaged her. This was when she was like 7. This is like 3 years ago. I really shouldn't be surprised by this, but I still was when it happened. A few days ago, all of a sudden, this light that I use, this ring light that has Bluetooth, starts going on and off all day. I'm getting really annoyed. I thought the boys were like messing with it. I thought they were coming in and messing with my light that I used to film. And I went out and I was like, boys, who touched my light? And they swear they haven't touched it. I was like, I'm not mad, just please don't touch my light. I don't want it to get broken. And they say they haven't done anything to it. And I know that this light has a remote, but I never use the remote. I don't even know where it is because I just turn it on and off at the switch. Third time it happens, I know no one's been near the light except me, and I know I haven't turned it off. So I unplug it, like fine, done. And to add to this, the day before this, because we haven't gotten a new Kindle yet, Paul is letting Maggie use his Android tablet device that he uses at work. And so I haven't made this connection yet in my head that this might be what's going on. Maggie's using this Android, and all she does is use YouTube Kids to watch Bubble Guppy songs. First, I'm in the kitchen after dinner, and all of a sudden, the Google Home starts playing loudly. It's off, just says the time, shows like a picture. And all of a sudden, while I'm standing in the kitchen, the Google Home starts playing Bubble Guppy songs. And I'm like, this is weird. And I said like, okay, Google, stop playing. And it stops. And then I go into the living room, and all of a sudden, the TV's not playing anything. And all of a sudden, the TV out there starts loudly playing Bubble Guppy songs. And Paul looks at me and he goes, does she have the Roku app on her phone? And I said, no. And he's like, how's she controlling the TV then? And I said, oh, she's controlling it with the Android. She's controlling it with the YouTube app. And then all of a sudden, and we go downstairs, and the boys were in my bedroom. She couldn't even see the TV down there. And she takes over that TV with it and starts putting it on there, which caused a whole lot of drama between her and the boys. Then she goes into her bedroom and takes over that TV and starts putting on Bubble Guppy music there. So she's going around the house, taking over all of the different TVs with the app and putting Bubble Guppy music on all over the house, which caused a great deal of tension between her and her brothers, who were like, this is the most unfair thing that's ever happened to them in their entire life. Maybe you can just walk into a room and start playing Bubble Guppy music on not just this iPad or not just this Android that's in her hand, but also on the TV. She has both of them, and they're like livid because they're 5 and 7, and this is just the greatest injustice of their small young lives. Maggie's pretty thrilled with it though. She thinks it's awesome. Anyways, I just thought that was pretty funny. Yeah, and we still haven't figured out the email, and Paul talked to Amazon on the phone for like an hour and a half and so did I, and we are no closer. I got an email saying, did we solve your problem? And it was like, no, no one has solved our problem. I thought this was supposed to be easy. It's not. It hasn't been easy at all. But the person who knows what's going on isn't talking. She's not about to admit to what she's done. Anyways, so that is Maggie's latest adventures in technology, which she tells me is hard for her, and I really feel like it's not all that hard for her. I feel like she's quite gifted in navigating technological systems. I think she might have some sort of future in it eventually. I don't know. Whatever she wants to do. Anyways, that is it for today. Just can't wait to see what she's going to do next. That's it for today. If you like this video, we'd love it if you'd give it a thumbs up. And if you're interested in all things autism, we'd love it if you did subscribe. And I'll see you tomorrow.